Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and this is our last lap to CUET 2022. Can you hear and see me clearly, everyone? I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to everybody. If you could very quickly confirm that, we shall shoot with our session today. Hi everyone, good evening, good evening. If you could very quickly confirm my voice is clear, the video is clear. Yes? Okay. So, hi Kinza. Hi Falguni. All right. So, what are we going to do in today's session? Now, see, the title of the session is Course of Action. Now, some of you might be thinking it's a new topic and this kind of question hasn't appeared in the history of CUET, but let me tell you something. CUET pattern this year has completely taken an overhaul, okay? And verbal logic is something that's very likely going to be asked in the CUET paper. Since verbal logic is a topic that's very likely going to come up, course of action is one of those kind of questions that is imperatively seen in most of the competitive examinations where verbal logic is a part. So our assumption is in verbal logic, course of action is something that can come up as a very important question. And mind my words, everyone, it's a very scoring topic of verbal logic. The chances of you being confused is almost negligible if you get the fundamentals of verbal logic correctly. So it's a very scoring one, verbal logic kind of question, and you can easily master that. So all I need is your attention for good 1 hour today. We'll be learning some theory and we'll be applying that theory to some questions that we solve today. That is the agenda of the class, okay? So let me start off with exactly what is a course of action question. Let's first try to understand that. In a course of action question, you will be given a problem. Okay, that will be the question given to you. It's going to be a problematic situation. For example, the pollution is increasing, the condition of roads are bad, corruption is increasing, there's no gender parity in our country. It could be any problem. Societal problem, personal problem, governance problem. It could be any kind of problem. You as a judge will have to decide what could be the solutions to these problems. Now, just remember something. One problem may have many solutions. Yes, it could. And it's completely dependent on a person what solution to choose. So, there may be a confusion in your mind, ma'am, what solution do I choose? Because the examiner may have chosen a different solution and I may choose a different solution. So, the good part about a course of action question is that you don't have to choose one solution. So, for example, I have 3 solutions given to me in the options. All 3 of them can follow or all 3 of them cannot follow as well. That is, for example, if there's a problematic situation, the roads are in a bad shape. What all can be the solution? Immediate repairing, putting out funds so that there's ample of fund available for the repairing of roads, or probably ensuring that good quality of material is used so that the roads are not damaged later on. All 3 of them can follow, right? All 3 of them with part by part provide solutions to me. So remember, I don't have to find the best solution. No, that's not the job. My job is to solve a given problem and the solutions could be many. I don't have to choose the best solution here, okay? Good evening, everyone who just now joined me. All right. So I hope you understand the basic fundamental of what a course of action question would ask you. Okay. Now, how do we choose what all solutions will follow? And the biggest catch here is that, remember, to be able to solve a course of action question correctly, I need to know how to eliminate options. So let's understand how to eliminate the incorrect ones. Now, for example, I'll repeat the same example that I had given you. The condition of the roads are bad. Can I choose a course of action? Don't do anything. People will be used to bad roads. Can I choose that course of action, everyone? Answer that. Of course not. I can't. Because, see, if the question comes up to you, you have to decide a solution. You have to solve the problem. Not doing anything isn't a solution at all. So that wouldn't follow my children. That means I now have to learn how to, just a minute, eliminate options. Okay, so let's understand what all options will follow and what all options will not follow. Okay, so the first thing, do not solve any tangential problem. That is, in a layman term, I'm not going to focus on anything that the question doesn't refer to or it's a byproduct of the question. Let's understand that. If my problem, there's a question that says, the people working in an organization, they say that they have lesser number of breaks. So I will solve the problem of the number of breaks they require. I will not solve the problem of they being tired because they get lesser number of breaks. Being tired is not my problem. Lesser number of breaks is my problem. So always remember something. I'll write this down here. If you're making notes, please make sure you make that. We need to identify exactly what the problem is. If you're unable to identify the core problem, you'll be dealing with a separate problem altogether and you'll be marking a separate solution altogether again. So I need to know what exactly is the core problem being mentioned here. Okay, that's something very necessary for you to remember. Second is that we have to find feasible and practical solutions. Any solution that's beyond the feasibility or that's not doable at all will be eliminated. So for example, I say there's a warning of a cyclone coming in. Can I vacate the entire state? I can't do that. That's not a practical solution or a feasible solution. So any solution that suggests something that's beyond the feasibility or practicality of my understanding, these options have to be eliminated. Hi Sneha, yes, long time. I'm absolutely great. I hope you're able to understand the basic fundamentals of course of action. Yes. In the app, I can see only one person live. Please make sure you come up with questions wherever you have. Because if you don't ask me questions then and there, you are not going to be able to master any verbal logic topic. You need to counter me if you have questions. Remember that, people. If you don't counter, the doubt is always going to stay in your head and you'll not be able to master it. Okay? So feel free to ask me questions whenever you have any. So I'll always look for feasible solutions and practical solutions. Anything that's impractical has to be eliminated outrightly. Next, I will always avoid the extreme steps. Example, this new scheme is not working. Shut it down. Dude, if we have to shut it down, why will the management come to you for a solution? Anybody can shut it down. So shutting, banning, closing, death penalty, killing, all of these are extreme solutions. Please do not opt for that. Anybody can do extreme solutions. You are going to be probably a manager someday and you have to decide from the perspective of how a person, see, remember, a course of action question, while you're solving it, you need to remember that you have the authority to decide. You have to utilize the power of authority very carefully. You can't misuse it. So banning, closing, shutting it down. Air India doesn't give us profit. Shut it down, sell it off. That's the last resort. Never opt for it. So if Air India does not give us profit, I'm going to find out why the profit is not coming. I'm going to find out what can increase my profit, what can reduce my losses. I'll opt for those course of action rather than shutting it down or selling it off. Okay? You will never choose those extreme options. Then, do not make any assumptions. Okay, that's the basic key rule of any verbal logic topic. You cannot make any unnecessary assumptions that are not otherwise mentioned in the question. That goes on for every verbal logic fundamental. So it could be, okay, I mean, CUET, there is only the difficult questions or easy one also because it's my first time, so I'm a little nervous. Ria, See, I don't know how you define difficult questions or easy questions. Easy, you'll find everything easy if you practice amply. But if you don't practice, you are going to be struggling with everything. So CUET is not a very, very tough examination. Remember, that's not UPSC. Okay? So, it's not very difficult. You just need to practice in the right direction. If you put in effort, you're going to sail through easily. You just need to remember that. Okay. Hi, Harsh. Okay. So remember, unnecessary assumptions will always make any verbal logic question wrong. Be it critical reasoning question, be it assumption conclusion questions, be it course of action questions, don't make any unnecessary assumptions. And then take a greater look into the consideration. Okay, now that's before I explain this pointer, because that's a generic one, let me put in some more magical points here that might help you sail through course of action questions correctly. Remember something, any option that provides you any sort of solace, any sort of solution, even if the solution may not be 100% effective, even if that's not true, it provides you good some 45% of solution, you'll go with that. I don't have to find out an absolute solution. Okay? And remember, anything or everything can follow. It just needs to provide me with a solution. The solution just cannot be very extreme, or solution cannot be something that's impractical. With that logic, you can easily master the course of action questions. मैम 18 साल के बच्चे के लिए यूपीएससी एग्जाम कम थोड़ी है इपमेट. Tarun, okay. See, I don't want to argue about that. I agree with it, but it's only a way of explaining why IPMAT or rather CUET is a doable examination. You just need to be focused and working hard. There's no shortcut to hard work. Just remember that. That's what I need to focus on. Because if you just keep worrying if I'll be able to clear it or not, that worry will never lead you to any place. And that's why the analogy between UPSC and CUET was done. Okay, I hope it makes sense. All right, now that was the basic fundamental of how you're supposed to solve the course of action questions. Now, before I proceed, did you hit a like button? If you haven't done that yet, please do that. Please hit the like button right now if you're able to understand the concept that I'm explaining right now. Okay, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Please hit the subscribe icon if you haven't done that yet. Thank you so much if you have done that already. Asta, there's a question that comes up in the app that says how to manage English with domain. So I'm assuming, Asta, you've picked up English as your language section. And Asta, see, if you're preparing for any competitive examination, English is an imperative part. It's only CUET that gives you a choice. And English is something that you've studied in your school as well. And the pattern of CUET English is going to be similar to the kind of language section that we've seen in other competitive examinations, a little similar to your school English as well. So it's not going to be a tough ball to catch. Okay, it's going to be simple. Just that, please be very attentive with the series that we're going through, the last lab to CUET, though the dates aren't out yet and we still have time. So we still can practice. Attend our classes very carefully, and after the classes are done, please practice more of such questions from our app. That should suffice for basic fundamentals. Once you're done with basic fundamentals, just try to identify what is that you're struggling with. Is it reading comprehension? Is it grammar? Is it verbal logic? What is that you're struggling with? Identify that and start working in that direction. That's how you manage this English section if that's your core language. Okay? All right. So, are you ready for questions, everyone? Shall we solve some questions? Apply the theory that I had given you. Remember, elimination of extreme and negative options and trying to identify the answer through the feasibility. Okay. So, here's our first question. And these are going to be the directions here. Both can follow, neither can follow, all can follow, one of them can follow. So that's how you solve it. Okay, that's your statement. Tell me. Oh. Okay, solve this question. What according to you will follow? I hope you did not see the answer. Even if you did stay quiet. So your answers could be only one can follow, only two can follow, both can follow, or neither can follow. Okay, give this a try. Guys, give this a try. At least read the question. I'm so sorry. At least read this. It's a tricky question. Okay. Now that you've already seen the answer, it's okay. Let's discuss this question only as an example. I have many questions to solve. Okay, don't worry. Let's take this question as an example since you've already seen the answer here. Now, let's try to, what was the first step that I taught you? We'll try to identify the core problem. What's the core problem here? A hungry kid snatched a burger from a passerby at an upmarket shopping complex. So it's a posh shopping complex. And the kid did something that he wasn't supposed to do. That wasn't expected from the kid. He snatched a burger from somebody who was passing by. Now, what this passerby should do, okay? The first one, beat that child black and blue. What did I teach you? All the extreme options have to be eliminated at the first go. Okay? So, beating black and blue, Sandhya, means beating so much that the child turns black and blue with the beating. That's beating black and blue. Now, that of course cannot be my answer because that's too extreme. You are not the child, the parent of the child. Even if you're the parent, you cannot beat the child black and blue. That's no way to treat the child. So it's going to be an extreme one. Okay. The second one says he should ask the kid to apologize. That's a polite way of teaching the child a lesson. And then you should also inform his parents or caretaker because this happened probably because the parents of the caretakers weren't attentive enough, and the parents need to know how the child is behaving. The parents need to know that the child is hungry. So if anything that the child does wrong, the easiest course of action will always be that the parents should be informed. You do something bad in a school, what's done? An immediate call to your parents or your caretaker? Yes, that's what's done, right? So instead of beating you black and blue. So the easiest course of action will be informing the parents or the caretaker. So as you had already seen, the answer is a clear B. Okay. All right. Now let's have a look at the next question, everybody. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. What's your answer, everyone? Be careful. Tarun, I'll answer that. What's your answer here? Uddesha, that's not a very good thing, my child. I hope you did not do anything really bad. What's your answer here, guys? Only one? Okay. One? Okay. Only one? All right. In the app? Abhiram, Astha, Harsh, what's your answer? 1. It's a feasible option. Okay. Everyone says 1. Now, let me give you some explanation here. You might change your answer after you listen to the explanation, okay? There's a pandemic and poverty has increased. What could be the reasons of increment in poverty? It could be job losses. It could be shutting down, closure of the markets because of the lockdown. It could be our country struggling with a number of debts and struggling with keeping the market afloat. It could be the economy impacting an inflation that has led to poverty. It could be many, many reasons. Okay. Is giving a particular amount of money a solution to poverty? Yes or no? Think of it and answer. Is that a solution to poverty? Abhiram, Falguni, Tarun, Anu, Akansha, Muskan, Sandhya, Riya. Is there a solution to poverty? It is not. Tarun, it is not. And even if you give a particular amount to them, your problem of poverty will not be solved. You can change your answers now. Did you get my reasoning here? The correct answer is going to be none. Neither of them will follow. Because providing a particular amount will not solve the problem of poverty. It can keep them afloat for some time, but then the core problem is poverty. That's exactly what the directions said. The directions that I told you in the beginning were that identify the core problem and deal with the core problem. That's why neither of them will follow. Please try to identify the core problem. It can keep them afloat for some time, but this will not be helped. Rather, working on the economy, rather working on providing more jobs, keeping the market open, that might help us. Okay? So, neither. Let's have a look at question number 3. What's the correct answer? Here, according to you. Okay. Be careful, okay? This is an easy one. Okay, Astha? The word behind my head says constituted. Yeah, so 2, okay? Only 2, okay? All right, let's see the answers here. Oh, just a minute. Here we go. Now, what was the core problem? The buses running into each other? No, that's not my core problem. My core problem is the faulty traffic light. Now, the faulty traffic light leads to two buses running into each other. That means the drivers are not responsible here. The faulty traffic light is. Why will you put the drivers behind bars then? That's a wrong course of action. Agreed? This is not going to follow. And that also will be very extreme. But you need to know why the traffic lights were faulty that led to this big accident of 10 passengers being dead. So we need to identify the core culprit here and why this issue happened. How will we identify that? By setting up a committee to investigate the matter. That's the easiest thing, easiest solution to probably every issue. So there may be questions, many questions that I see in course of action are usually based on you suspect that XYZ person has done something, or you have a doubt that your organization is getting into illegal activities. What will you do? Okay, you will first investigate. That's the best way to start with dealing of a problem. Thus, our correct answer has to be only and only 2 follows. Everyone got this correct. Yes, everyone did. Okay, so that's a correct answer. Before I show you the 4th question, everyone who joined me late, are you able to get the fundamental here? If you are, please like my session, please share my session, and please comment under my video. Don't forget to do that. Thank you if you've already done that. I'm obliged. Question number 4. Let's go to Chikanabad. It's actually a very funny question. I would have Surya. Will that solve my problem? Poultry farming, okay? Okay. So there's a decline in the population of chickens in Chikanabad, and these families, they survive only on poultry farming. Thus, the decline in the population of chicken might make them poor, jobless, lesser income. So the problem is the decline in the population of chicken. The core problem is this: providing a cow. I would have, my heart set mark this, but my mindset that will not solve my problem. Some people might think this is a way of providing them an alternative way of earning. But why alternative? We need to deal with the problem of population of the chickens declining. Why is it declining? Identify that. Find a solution to the decrement in the population of chickens. That's what I need to find out, right? Providing a cow doesn't do that, either of it. That will not follow. And then if you kill the remaining ones, what's going to happen? You'll be left with none. And then no income at all. It's extreme. What did I teach you? Extreme course of action would not follow. Okay? Is going to be none of them. Okay? Let's have a look at question number 4, everyone. Easy. What's your answer? First, okay. All right. None. Okay. None. Okay. All right. Let me explain the question. 50% of the residents have been found COVID positive. What's the RWA? The RWA is the association that manages the residents and the welfare of the residents. That's the Residents Welfare Association, okay? And usually every society has an RWA, okay? Now, if the 50% of the residents living in the society have been found COVID positive, should the RWA come up with a plan to deal with the spread of COVID? That's the first thing that should be done. If there's a problem in a country, should the government find a solution to that? Yes. Here, these are the residents. Here, this is the government. The same relationship is seen here. So if there's a spread of COVID in our country, the government will find a plan to deal with the spread, to control it. Similarly, if there's a mass spread of COVID in that society, the RWA will sit and make a plan to control the spread, because the spread is massive. It shouldn't spread even furthermore. Okay? I hope you understand that what RWA is now. So one will certainly follow. Okay? Now, that's Residents Welfare Association. Families should be asked to leave. That, my children, is an extreme one. They could be asked to be isolated. Could be, yes, rather should be, but asking them to leave the society? Who does that? If we as residents in our country suffer from COVID, our government will not ask us to leave the country, right? That's too extreme. So the correct answer is going to be only one follows. Question number 6, people. Here you go. ना but statement में RWA के बारे में तो कुछ भी नहीं बोला है. बच्चे, तरुण, did you understand the example of the government and the citizens? The citizens are suffering from COVID. Is government not responsible? I don't have to mention the role of government there. Similarly, the role of RWA is implicit. This question. None? Okay. All right. But usually, isn't it the second one that both, okay, that mothers do? That's usually what mothers do, right? No, my mother never did it. So I am a mother and understand it. My child, my responsibility. If the child doesn't listen to me and does something beyond my wishes, the only solution I have is speaking to the child and make the child understand or seek medical help. Speaking to Sinu's friends. Probably Sinu is consuming alcohol with his friends. If you speak to Sinu's friends to put some sense into Sinu's head, probably it's a bad solution. It might have a negative impact. I'll tell you. I'll give you a better example here for those people who think the second will follow, okay? I'll give you a better example to give clarity here. My boss thinks that my colleague, who also reports to the same boss, is doing something wrong. Will my boss ask me to make my colleague understand, or will my boss himself will take the responsibility of making the colleague understand? Because if my boss complains to me, it might have a negative impact. I may be infuriated with my boss's action. Sinu may be infuriated, even worse situation with the mother. Why did he even call my friends? That might happen, okay? So, calling the friends is going to be a bad decision. It's going to be neither following. Remember that, okay? Did you get it? Yes? Send me a thumbs up if you've got this answer, everyone. A thumbs up very quickly. All right, let's have a look at the next question. Question 7. Okay, let me alter the question a little to give you more clarity. No, no, no. We'll stick to this question. Yes. Now, what's your answer? Only one? Okay. Others? First? Okay. All right, let's understand the question. So, another company's employees are entering a different company during lunch break. That's a problematic situation, and we need to find out the solution to it. If I employ more security guards and if I make checking the I cards compulsory at the entrance, will it solve my problem? Absolutely, it will. It will solve my problem. That is, the employees of other companies cannot enter my premises. If they cannot enter here, it's going to solve my problem. Thus, A will follow. But people from other companies found should be locked in cell for punishment. It's so extreme. They haven't committed a crime where they should be sent to the jail for. Okay, deployed is okay. Putting these people on action. It's usually with used with resources and army, Abhiram. So we deploy the army, we make them ready at the checkpost, and we deploy resources, we make it ready for usage. That's deployment. Okay. So the answer is going to be only and only one follows. This is too extreme. Remember, extreme would not follow. Question number 8, everyone. Now, okay, good question. What's your answer? Option 1, okay. Others? Only one? Okay. None? Okay. Let's understand the question. Now, the core problem is that the university thinks that they are sitting idle because of online classes. So their job is lesser these days. And there's a threat of they being fired because of the fact that they are sitting idle. So the core problem is sitting idle. If I deal with sitting idle, the secondary issue of firing can be addressed. First option says the authority should look for alternative engagements for the teachers. If I engage the teachers into alternative things, am I keeping them away from sitting idle? Yes, I am. Am I solving the core issue of teachers not doing anything? Yes, I am. By giving them additional work, if I am keeping them busy, the secondary problem of they being fired can be dealt with. Muskan, did you get it? Vansh, did you get it? Falguni, did you get it? Kinza, you as well, my child. If I give them alternative employment options, alternative tasks, because not many jobs are available, I need to keep them. And to keep them, I can't just keep them empty or idle. I need to give them alternative work, and that's what A does. But B says fire. If firing was the solution, why would the question maker come to you as a solution? You are somebody who has to find a solution. This is not a solution. Anybody can do this. Okay? There are 10, Tarun. So the correct answer is going to be only one, A. Question number 9. Here we go. Now, let me add on something here before you mark your answers. Some inmates in the XYZ Rehab Center in Bengaluru have committed serious crimes like rapes and murders inside the rehab. Okay, that's what the question is. Now mark your answers. This adding this last phrase inside the rehab will make it clear, the answer clear. Both? None? Both. Okay, that's tricky. A. Abhiram, you're just getting the hang of it now. I can see that. You choose only practical options. Is this practical? No. I give you an example. If there's a jail where there's a fight that is happening, I can't keep the people who are innocent out. I just can't move them out. It's a rehab center. They need this place. That is not a solution to the problem. Moving out is not a solution. The solution is controlling this. Okay? And how we control this? By deploying more security guards and counselors so that these people in the rehab don't commit any such crimes inside the rehab center. Moving them out of the rehab center is not a solution. You can probably move these inmates out to a prison, but you can't move the innocent ones out. That's not the solution. That's for whom the place has been built. Exactly. Yes, Muskan. When they're innocent, why they should be moved out? So the correct answer is going to be only one follows. And the last question of the class. Here we go. Yes, it's A. Here, what's your answer? Please read the options carefully. What's your answer? None? Okay. Only two? Okay. Others, what's your answer? None? Let's understand the question. I focused specifically on the fact, please read your options carefully. So, there's a corporation that's ill-managed and the government is trying to find a solution to it. Okay. Yet the employees go on a strike. They say, government, you take over the control. And they have went on a strike despite the appeal from the CM that please be quiet, we're trying to find a solution. Yet they've gone on a strike. The second one says that the government should hold a joint meeting with the employees. Till this time, it was fine. That meeting, holding a meeting, is a good way to convince the employees to not go on a strike and end the strike. But holding a meeting to communicate that you are only employees, you can't question the management. Is that a positive way? Holding a meeting is good, but holding to communicate, dude, you stay in your limits. You are only an employee. You can't question the management. That's an extreme way to deal with the situation. It's going to be an incorrect one. Please read the option carefully. We can't communicate this. The employees have equal rights. This is going to be wrong. MSRTC should fire all employees. Again, that's an extreme one. Thus, my answer is going to be neither of them will follow. They, of course, have the right to question. Yes. Okay. So, it's going to be neither. Correct. So, the gist of the class is that please understand the concept that I've explained at the beginning. People who've joined me late, please watch the first few minutes of the class where I had explained the concept. Analyze each problem and identify what the core issue is that you have to deal with and practice more questions. This is a schedule for the coming week for the last lab to CUET, where Salik sir has a class on Thursday, Friday Ankur sir, Saturday Vikas sir, Sunday Ankur sir, and then Monday you have another class with me where we are going to be discussing another verbal logic topic, that's cause and effect. So don't miss out on these classes for the last lab to CUET, and I shall see you very, very soon. Make sure you attend our live detailed analysis of the first impression of IPMET Rohtak on 26th of June, IPMET Indore on July 2nd, and the CUET first impression whenever the examination happens. Thank you so much, everyone. Please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, download our app on Google Play. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like my video too. Thank you, guys. I hope you had a fun learning time with me. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a very, very good night. God bless you. Sanskar, you'll have to call our counselors. They'll let you know more about the program. Yes, there are many courses going on. You need to call the counselors, okay? Thank you, Abiram. Thank you, my child. The number of the counselors is given under my video in the description box. Bye, everyone.